Hi guys! We've just come to this gorgeous place in Tasmania. It's a glamping on the shore on the very north of the island. We came here from Hobart, and having driven all across Tasmania, I thought that I would film this video. It's gonna be short, smooth and beautiful. Whether you're from Australia or not, you'll end up renting a car here because it's impossible to see the island otherwise. And there are a few moments that you'd better to know before you set off on your journey. Here is a room in the Cove, Tasmania. So it's not a big one, but the view, I think the view is the main hero here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Here's a little beach, and in the evenings, the beach. In the evenings, the penguins come here from the sea. We booked a car on the aggregator as usual because it's way cheaper than booking directly from the car rental company. We know this from the experience, and even a guy on the desk told us the same when he tried to sell us a full coverage. We used Discover Cars website this time because we found a better deal there, and the link is in the description. Alright, let's jump onto discovercars.com and I'll point out a few things that you'd better know about. I guess you're picking up the car at Hobart Airport and dropping it off there too. Let's choose the same dates that we had, something around Christmas, the best time to be in Tasmania, and take a look at this car, Kia Stonic. First off, check the business hours of the pickup desk. Make sure they match your arrival time at the airport. Then look at the mileage policy. Here it's unlimited, but sometimes there might be a limit. It's basic insurance, third-party liability included. That's fine, but after that, make sure you click on this link, rental conditions. And what do we see there? We see a standard deposit requirement of 500 or 1,000 Australian dollars, and that you'll need either a credit or debit card for both the deposit and rental payment. Scroll down a bit and you'll spot something not so great, the excess or deductible of 5,400 Australian dollars, and that you'll need to pay if something happens to the car. Anything that is above this limit is paid by insurance company. Alright. Of course, the platform offers their own full coverage, but there's a catch and I'll explain it later. I usually don't take insurance from the aggregators, and if I need it, I buy it at the desk when I pick up the car. The basic SUV MGZS cost us 600 Australian dollars or 370 US dollars. It's December, Christmas holidays, so I guess we got lucky with that price tag. Insurance is not included, only CDW, and if you want a full coverage, it's gonna cost you 40 Australian dollars more per day.
Just economy car, the basic one. It's nothing. I can say nothing about it. Just a normal car.
And you'd better to have one because of the Tasmanian wildlife. You heard the word wildlife? It's funny though, because here in Tasmania they have the highest, if I'm not mistaken, speed limit in Australia. It's 110 kilometers per hour on the highways, 50 kilometers per hour in the cities, and from 80 to 100 kilometers per hour on all other roads. And I have to say, these roads are so narrow that no one in their right mind would drive 100 kilometers here. You don't want to go over the speed limits because the fines are harsh, from 100 to 1,000 Australian dollars depending on the limits. I saw many speed cameras, so be careful. Majority of the roads in Tasmania are 2-lane roads. They are good, no potholes, well maintained, but again pretty narrow. It's really easy to drift onto the side of the road, especially if you're not used to the car size. One of the most difficult roads is the one leading to Mt Wellington in Hobart. The narrow serpentine is an awful combo. No toll roads, which is good, and as always in Australia, you keep left until overtaking. The driving culture is great, everybody is polite, everybody uses their turn signals, no tailgating. Tasmania might look like a relatively small island, however, because of how the road network is designed, distances here are actually longer than they seem. For example, the beautiful Wineglass Bay is around 100 kilometers from Hobart, but you would drive for 3 hours or more to get here. So if you're planning on staying in Hobart, the capital, and taking day trips, no, it's not gonna work. You need to stay at different parts of the island. I have raspberries. They're so good and really easy to pick up. Before you set off on your journey, always have an offline map. You can download it on Google Maps because the connection is not stable, especially in the national parks. Also check the car's fuel level because there might be no gas stations along the way. And check the weather forecast. It was a huge surprise for us when we came to Cradle Mountain Park in the middle of the day, only to find out that the temps here can drop to 0 degrees in December. And yes, it's snowing here in Tasmania in winter, which lasts from June to September, and the roads get frosty. The wildlife. Unfortunately, the situation is serious. All the shoulders are covered in dead animals, from the small rodents to rather big wallabies or even kangaroos. There are even special road signs indicating the areas where the roadkill is concentrated, and my main advice would be not to drive after dusk. In the daytime, it's a rare thing that animals jump under the wheels, but you can never know, so you have to always be careful and vigilant. What else? At the parking. Mostly no problems with parking outside the big cities like Hobart or Launceston. Everything is free and plentiful. For exploring Hobart, we parked at Hobart Car Central Park, something like that. I'll write it here. First hour is free and the next hour is $3 Australian. And for overnight parking, we used the street parking, but we lived in the residential area of Hobart. And here in the glamping, they have their own private parking. And the last thing, don't forget about the passes for the national parks here in Tasmania. If you're gonna visit more than 2 parks, it's better to purchase a holiday vehicle pass, which covers the car and 8 persons. And it costs 93 Australian dollars. We visited 4 or even 5 national parks, so it's worth it. So here's the price of the passes that you can purchase. And if you buy a holiday pass, like we did, the Cradle Mountain Park is included, but the bus that gets you to the hikes is not included and is extra $15. And a small complaint from my partner who drove us all around the island. In Hobart and other cities, the left lane is often reserved for parking, which makes driving a bit annoying. So you're in this lane and then you have to switch to the right lane and then the right lane turns. Oof, annoying. Well, I guess that's it. Feel free to ask any questions, and don't forget to check the description. All useful links are there. The links to our gorgeous glamping, the links to the aggregator, the links to my travel blog, truepiz.com. Be sure to check it out. So yeah, see you in the next videos. Bye!